Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our first episode of Perfect Couple with Sheik Ismaheel Ramadan on Volume 3 TV, where we'll be discussing tips about a perfect couple, how we're going to be having a perfect relationship and a healthy marriage. Now let's go. Let's talk about the 7 habits that can destroy a perfect and a loving relationship. This destructive habit doesn't look like a bad one at first, but when it's not well being handled carefully, you can later find them to be a bigger problem that would eventually lead into breakups of relationship. The first one is having no common courtesy. When you don't have just common courtesy, you know, when we're talking about courtesy, it doesn't look like a big one, but when it's not really well handled and well being careful about, you find it to be a very big problem in a relationship. When we're talking about having courtesy, you have to treat your partner with some care and respect. You shouldn't treat your partner as if she is your slave, or from the woman to the man, you treat her as if she's no person or she's nothing to you. You should be able to have courtesy. You respect your partner. You care for him or her. When you don't have courtesy, my dear, I fear your relationship might end up with breakups. And the second one is going back to the past. You know, in recent relationship, we find most couples holding upon the past, something that has happened in the past. Then you start repeating it. You're going back to it when other things happen. Things you're supposed to treat with caution and you just overlook. Then you have to go back into the past. You know, that is how you did this to me. You know, that is how you dated my friend. You know, that is how I asked you for money and you did not give me. Something that has been in the past, going back into it hurts you more. And it wouldn't let you to have the mind of a forgiving mind. You wouldn't have a forgiving mind. You wouldn't learn how to respect and forgive your spouses whenever you guys have any kind of issue. So learn not to bring back the past in the presence. Because bringing back the past in the presence might be an hindrance to happiness of your future. And the third one, for these habits that are destructing, we'll be talking about not being able to say thank you, not being appreciative. You have to appreciate your partner. Women should appreciate the men. Men should appreciate the wife. You learn how to say thank you. Look at thank you, it's a very small word, but it's very big in the heart of whom you say it to. You should be able to learn how to say thank you. And you have to learn how to say it at the right time. Most people doesn't know that saying thank you at the right times matter most. Because when your husband gave you something and you're still calling that thing, you're still calling and holding on to it, and your husband will be expecting that little word from you, thank you, my husband, but you're still busy doing some other things. You let that thing to carry you away from saying the right thing at the right time. You should learn how to say thank you at the right time. When your husband gave you something, your wife gave you something, before embracing it and allowing that thing to carry you away from saying the right thing at the right time, the first thing should be you being appreciative to your husband, to your partner, by saying, thank you, my husband, thank you, my wife. It means a lot. And the fourth one is having conversation through text messages or WhatsApp. It's awful most times, you know. You should be able to communicate with your spouse. The wife should learn how to communicate with your man directly. The man should learn how to communicate with your wife directly. The communication shouldn't be through text messages or through WhatsApp. You know, when you get to a certain level, by doing this day to day, day in, day out, then you won't be able to have that free mind conversation when you guys are seeing each other again. It's kind of awful, and it can lead to anywhere than breakups, because you wouldn't have that feelings of communicating directly with your spouse. You wouldn't have that mindful feeling, that soothful feeling that you should have when you are communicating with your spouse. Then it's very dangerous. We have to be watchful of it. And the fifth one is continuous distraction. When you are allowing continual distraction in your marriages, it can lead to nowhere, or let me say it will lead to nowhere than breakups. You shouldn't let your marriage to be full of distraction. Nowadays we see marriages, we see husbands and wife being at home, not talking to each other. The man will be in the sitting room, from WhatsApp status to Facebook to Instagram to TikTok. The wife too will be busy somewhere, pressing the phone, chatting with strangers and laughing, rather than being together as a husband, as a family, speaking to each other, making each other laugh. You shouldn't allow another person to make your husband laugh. You shouldn't allow another man to make your wife laugh or smile. That is awful. It's called distraction. Those things will distract you, and it wouldn't allow, it will kill that emotion, that feelings, that love that you guys have for each other from the start. It will kill it, and you wouldn't feel anything for each other again. Then break up. You have to be very watchful of it. Picking the sixth one, speaking ill about your partner is a very bad habit that you have to curb. That might be an hindrance to the happiness of the family. A man shouldn't speak awful, shouldn't speak ill about your wife. The wife shouldn't speak ill about your husband, especially in public places. You are in a gathering and your wife, like you want to call your wife, you're just like, are you crazy? Can't you hear me? That's ill. You shouldn't tell things to your friends about your wife. You shouldn't tell things to you, awful things, ill things, to your family about your wives, about your husbands. It wouldn't lead you to the right place, to the best place. It wouldn't make you to have the best of relationship. Rather than break up the marriage and you guys end up in tears. You have to be very watchful of that. Let's be watchful of it. And the seventh one is focusing on the negative side of your partner. The negativity, the negatives of your partner. You shouldn't focus on that. No one is perfect, you know. Your wife is not perfect. Your husband is not perfect. So when you find out something that is not perfect in your partner, you should be able to manage it. You should be able to communicate right. You should be able to handle it. You shouldn't focus on it. You shouldn't like say, oh, since my wife cannot cook, then you focus on that and you take that as an opportunity to humiliate her. Humiliate her. You get to your friend's house, then you say, let me eat what I want to eat here, because when I get home, I'm not gonna see a good food. That is humiliating. And your wife or your friend was asking you, why won't you find a good food at your house? My wife. If you did potting eat from my wife, the person will raise up. You're humiliating her. That shouldn't come from you as a husband. And the wife too shouldn't focus on the negativity of your husband. Anything you know your husband is not perfect on, you should be able to communicate right, learn how to manage it, so you can have a healthy and a perfect relationship. For sponsorship and advertisement, you can contact us through these following numbers on your screen right now. And for any comments or contribution, you can just put it down in the comment section, or you contact us through the following numbers too. Still your host, Sheik Ismaheel Ramadan. Please don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel at Volume3 TV and all other social media platforms. Thank you. I'll see you next time.